There is a moment, usually when you're about 25 or 30 or maybe even 40, where you look in the mirror and you realize something terrifying. You realize that you are soft. I don't mean physically, I mean spiritually soft. You struggle to make decisions. You constantly look around the room for an adult to tell you what to do before remembering that you are supposed to be the adult. You have a hard time saying no, you avoid conflict like it's a contagious disease, you feel a constant low-level need to be nice, to be liked, to be safe. And deep down in the darkest part of your mind, there is a voice that says, I am not a real man. If this hits a nerve, if you feel exposed, don't turn this off. We are going to talk about your father. Now hold on, put the forks down. This isn't a bash dad session. Your father might have been a great guy. He might have been a hero. Or he might have been a monster. Or he might have just been there. But if you feel weak, if you feel directionless, if you feel like you are constantly waiting for permission to exist, it is because a specific transmission didn't happen. A torch wasn't passed.
And it is the reason you are stuck. To understand why you feel weak, you have to understand what a father is actually for. Biologically, obviously, he provides the DNA. But psychologically, archetypally, the mother provides safety. She is the womb, the earth, the unconditional love. I love you because you exist. The father provides direction. He is the sky, the law, the boundary. His love is different. His love says, I love you, but you must become something. The father's job is to be the separation. His job is to stand between the child and the mother and say, okay, you have been held enough. Now it is time to face the world. It is time to be strong. Come with me. If that moment doesn't happen, if the father is absent or weak or terrifying, the child never leaves the sphere of safety. He remains, psychologically, in the womb. And a man who is psychologically in the womb cannot lead. Usually, this weakness comes from one of three specific types of fathers. Ghost 1, the tyrant. This was the father who was scary.
He was loud. He was critical. Nothing you did was ever good enough. If you got a 98 on the test, he asked where the other 2 points went. You learned that being a man meant being angry, dangerous. So you decided, subconsciously, I will never be like him. You rejected your own aggression. You rejected your own power, and you decided to be the nice guy. But by rejecting your aggression, you threw away your engine. You became a doormat. You are weak because you were terrified that if you show any strength, you will become the monster he was. So you would rather be harmless than powerful. Ghost 2, the phantom. This is the father who just wasn't there. Maybe he left. Maybe he worked all the time. Maybe he was in the house, but he was emotionally on another planet. This leaves a different kind of wound. You grew up without a map. You watched other boys playing catch or fixing cars or talking to their dads. You are weak because you are still waiting for him to come home.
You are searching for father figures everywhere. In your boss, in your mentors, in internet gurus. You are a perpetual apprentice, waiting for a master to tell you you are good enough. You are a man now. But because the master never comes, you never graduate. Ghost 3, the shadow. This one is the trickiest, and honestly, it is the most common creator of the nice guy. This was the dad who was nice. He was quiet, but he had no backbone. Maybe your mother was the dominant energy, the disciplinarian, and your dad just faded into the background. Ask your mother, he would say. He taught you that being a man means being submissive. He taught you that the way to survive a woman is to just give her whatever she wants. You are weak because you modeled yourself after a shadow. You learned to apologize for your own existence. You learned that conflict is to be avoided at all costs. You are a nice guy, just like him. And just like him, you are secretly full of resentment because you never get what you want. So what happens to the boy who grows up with the tyrant, the phantom, or the shadow? He becomes the undefined man.
He has no edges. He is water. He takes the shape of whatever container he is in. If he is with a strong partner, he becomes submissive. If he is at work, he becomes a people pleaser. He is terrified of his own desires. He creates a life of comfort, not purpose. He numbs himself. Video games, porn, weed, endless scrolling. Why? Because these things simulate the feeling of doing something without the risk of actual failure. He is waiting for the call to adventure, but he's afraid to pick up the phone. Okay, take a breath. That was the heavy part. Now we have to talk about the cure. And the cure starts with a brutal, necessary truth. Your father is never coming to save you. He is never going to give you the validation you missed. He is never going to apologize perfectly. Even if he is alive and even if you have a good relationship now, that window has closed. The developmental stage is over.
You cannot go back and fix the boy. You have to build the man on top of the broken boy. You have to accept the king is dead. And in a kingdom where the king is dead, the prince must ascend the throne, or the kingdom falls into chaos. So, how do you stop being weak? You have to become your own father. I know, it sounds like therapy speak, but it is practical. You have to install an internal father software in your brain. A father's first job is to set boundaries. You are weak because you have no boundaries with yourself. You eat what you want, you sleep when you want, you scroll when you want. You are a toddler running the house. You need to start telling yourself no. No, we are not eating that. No, we are not sleeping in. No, we are not texting her again. Discipline is not punishment. Discipline is how a father shows love. When you force yourself to do the hard thing, you are actually parenting yourself. Because of your past, you think that if someone disagrees with you, or if you have to stand up for yourself, it is a catastrophe. It's just Tuesday. You have to practice benevolent aggression.
This means being firm without being mean. I can't do that favor for you. I disagree with that point. This is what I need. The first time you do this, your heart will race. You will feel like you are going to die. Do it anyway. That shaking feeling, that is the weakness leaving the body. You cannot learn to be a strong man from women. You can learn many beautiful things from women: empathy, connection, love. But you cannot learn masculine strength from the feminine. You need other men. And not just drinking buddies. You need men who are doing things, men who are disciplined, men who will call you out on your nonsense. You need to see that it is possible to be powerful and kind, to be dangerous and safe. When you see it in others, you will begin to believe it is possible for you. Here is the secret that nobody tells you about the father wound. It is a heavy burden, yes, but it is also a gift. The men who had perfect fathers, they often stay boys forever too. They never had to struggle. They walked a paved road. But you have to build the road while you walk on it. That makes you tough. That makes you conscious. You are not operating on autopilot. You are building yourself from scratch. And the man who builds himself is always stronger than the man who was handed his strength. You are weak because of your father. That is the truth of your past. But if you stay weak, that is on you. That is the truth of your present. The throne is empty. The crown is sitting there gathering dust. Stop waiting for someone to put it on your head. Pick it up and put it on. Subscribe for more.